Turning now to a new city policy banning video inside a police department's lobby. The city commission in Deland just voted this in after reporting an increase in harassment from First Amendment auditors.
You know, I think they have the right to know, and I think parents have the right to know, and they don't, which is why, and this is a big deal, man. This is something I've read all sorts of, I've done investigations, I've read all sorts of investigations. This one is more troubling to me than many that I have read. Okay. And not just this report, this person in general, things I've looked into based on what happened here or these allegations. And this is one of the more troubling ones. And given all of the elements, it's honestly, it's very troubling to me that the school wasn't made aware. I think that's a problem. And I know you say that's an opinion, but don't you think, don't you agree they should know about it? At least know about it. But regardless of who believes who, don't you think the school should at least know that these allegations were made of something that took place on their at the school? Yeah, okay, I'm just looking for lobby footage. That camera right there, same thing as last week. Today.
Lobby footage, okay, 3:13.
Between 2:30 p.m. and, what time is it right now?
3:30.
So 3:15 p.m., 2:30 to 3:15 p.m. So make a statement, make a statement and say, hey, these are allegations that were made about a cop by other cops. We investigated it, but we feel it's important for people to know. Please contact us if you want to know more, because otherwise, unless we do what I'm doing, people don't even know it's out there.
So if you don't know what a First Amendment auditor is, they're people whose goal is to test their constitutional right to record video or take pictures in a public place like one of these lobbies. News 6's Molly Reed is in Deland with this policy and how similar changes could be coming statewide.
A lot of residents come to the Deland Police Department here and walk into that lobby through those doors to speak to an officer about a crime or file a report. Now, while they might be taken into another room to talk about the exact details, they first have to tell the receptionist why they're here. Now, lately, the police say these First Amendment auditors have been walking in after those residents and recording that initial conversation, many of which is posted online. Here's one example they gave us of it happening. The police say this auditor in the black was trying to record while a resident was speaking to a receptionist. In this case, it led to a fight. What were you doing recording in the lobby?
I was there actually making a public records request.
Steven Sanders is the man recording. So you wanted to shoot yourself making that request?
Absolutely, and I just wanted to record in constant so that way nothing was missed.
We're here investigating issues. We're here bringing public light.
But the city says
they may not be, focusing on that individual, but that interaction, that conversation is being picked up on video. Victims of crimes, God forbid, someone who's been sexually assaulted or who maybe witnessed a crime are coming into the office to tell our officers about that.
Still, some are fighting back against this policy.
We know you're up in Tallahassee with the First Amendment Foundation, but you've heard, let's start with the policy down here in Deland with the police lobby. I mean, what is you think the opposition to this?
I do not think it will pass constitutional muster, and I think the courts will strike it down.
Now, the City Commission voted for this new policy unanimously. The city attorney at the time acknowledged that, according to the law, people can record in public spaces, but also said that privacy should be expected.
If you've been following my channel, you've already seen the ridiculous things the Deland Police Department is willing to do to avoid accountability and transparency. Now, shockingly, they are willing to go so far as to make a policy that violates the United States Constitution. Now, that news coverage was unfortunate. We were at the department, myself, James Madison Audits, and Steven Sanders, and a couple of news stations showed up and asked to interview us. We provided them a lot of information that would help a typical viewer understand the entire spectrum, rather than leaning on one side, the side provided by the Deland Police Department and the city of Deland. But unfortunately, they chose to share very little of what we had to say. Now, the department is claiming that we go in, we follow people in and record their conversations. This has not happened. That is gaslighting the public, and we have no intention or desire to do that. We are looking into public things that they don't like the public looking into. So they want to keep us from recording within their lobby under the guise of the privacy of others, when it's likely more about they don't want others hearing what we are discussing with them. Just like they keep taking that copy of the IA report out of the lobby that I keep putting there. When I am in there discussing things with them, other members of the public are hearing. And many times, citizens have then approached me to ask me more about what I'm doing and showing a great interest. The department sees that too. They're also quite dramatizing this. Within that lobby, there is a private room with a door. It's like an interview room or a conference room. It's a room where they bring members of the public to discuss private matters. Why do they have that? Because the lobby is public. And let's be real for a minute. If a citizen comes in to report something or discuss something very sensitive and or embarrassing, I feel like they'd probably say, I'd rather talk in private. And they'd then be taken to that room. They wouldn't say this because someone might have a camera, someone might be recording something else in that public area, but because other people are around and they don't want other people to hear it. So it appears to me that this department, or at least the administration and the city administration, does not think with logic or transparency. And this is a hell of a fight they're putting up to avoid transparency. And you know that lobby footage that they said is exempt, and they have decided that they no longer will release footage from those cameras? Well, that footage of the alleged fight shown in that news report was from that very camera, and it was given to them yesterday, which seems kind of odd. It seems like they're picking and choosing when they're going to release it and to whom. Maybe it depends on what's on that footage. And there was no fight there. Someone didn't like that there was another camera in the lobby, aside from all the others owned by the department, and this guy knocked over Stephen Sanders' camera. It seems like the simple and logical response to that is to remind people to keep their hands to themselves and remind them that there is no expectation of privacy in public. Amazingly, she quoted the city attorney there, who agreed that, yeah, by law you can do that, but privacy should be expected. Is the attorney not stepping in to say, hey city, you're setting yourself up for rights violations? So we were at the department, and I don't really know if this unconstitutional policy is in effect yet. We figured if somebody had some issue, they would let us know. But nobody said anything, which is good. I mean, they shouldn't. There was some odd behavior, however. Just beyond those frosted glass doors is the department, all the offices and restricted areas and things like that. Just on the other side of that door, there's a monitor that displays the cameras in the lobby. Now, we noticed officers watching that monitor. One of them acted like giddy, excited. It was weird, like literally he shook and kind of jumped and ran off. Then he came back and several of them kept kind of stacking up right there at those doors, almost as if they were waiting for something. I would walk over to the door to speak through the door just to see if anybody wanted to speak or anything. And as soon as I would, they would go away from the doors. And then when I'd walk away, they'd come back again. And this repeated every single time we were in the lobby. Very strange. But I had already intended to visit on this day. As you know, I've been conducting an ongoing investigation and I needed some more public records. And I previously joked that they'll probably install more fence around the department to better protect them from citizens seeking accountability and transparency. Well, that's apparently in motion, spending taxpayer money on protecting them from having to face the taxpayers. I also mentioned that I had been told that members of the department were reaching out to the United States Postal Service, who is their neighbor, to ask them to put up restricted area signs in their lot to restrict people from being on USPS property, off of police department property beyond the restricted area. And guess what?
Good day, brother. Good day.
How you doing?
Good.
I just want to say hello. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Nice seeing y'all.
You too. I'm supposed to be where?
Be there. Why not? Because it's government property.
It's government property.
Is that private or public? Government. It's not public. Oh, not for me. You don't work for you.
I can't.
One of the things you got to do is check the GIS survey. Technically, your cars are in their parking lot. Your cars are on the city's parking lot right there. That's technically not your parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, it's not yours.
Well, it's not yours.
Either. You can't control it. I work here and you don't. You don't work on that property. That's the city of Deland. Good. Climb all over one of those
Well, that was baffling. I assume the guy's an employee at the USPS. Why he would say climb all over one of those trucks and see what happens? No clue. Who the hell's climbing on trucks back there? But nothing like this has ever happened before. Here and there, I've interacted with an employee over there. Just a hello, how are you? Just pleasantries. It seems the police department may have solicited some anger to be directed toward us. Oh, look at this.
That's what I said. That's new.
They just put that up.
Yeah. They don't have it properly marked though.
No, they don't. Look, they put up a new sign, just like they said.
How could that sign be? I can't see it from over there.
U.S. property, no trespassing. That's funny as hell. Out here with Steven Sanders, Spirit of Freedom, James Madison audits, and just like I said, so the city of Deland is planning to put a fence up back here. They've already had them out here to get some estimates. And I was given a tip by an anonymous source that somebody here with the department has been contacting the United States Postal Service, asking them to put up restricted access signs or something in this back parking lot. Well, let's wait for this truck so you can hear me. The PD called.
That's a blooper.
And apparently the police department called in this truck to block my view. All right, so an anonymous source told me that somebody here within the Deland Police Department has contacted their neighbors here at the United States Postal Service to ask them to put up restricted area signs in their rear parking lot, which is, government property, public property, because they want to protect themselves from any public that might be coming back here trying to ask them tough questions. We come here today, and someone at the post office ironically started barking, "Hey, you can't be back here. You can't be back here." And what are you talking about? When I walk over here, I see this brand new sign on post office property. This brand new sign. So Deland PD asked them to put up signs in their property to protect them from having to face the public. They've already got these perimeters. There's a certain boundary within the police department property where you can't go past, right? Restricted area. And now they've extended it throughout or they've attempted to anyway. We're still going to talk about that, but that's their attempt. That's what they're doing. And they are putting a fence up here. So they are spending your tax dollars in an attempt to hide themselves from you. Hide themselves, protect themselves from having to answer to their own actions. Hello.
How are you?
All right, good. How are you? Where'd Spires go?
Maybe the restroom? I don't know.
Oh, okay. I remember, I forgot something I needed to request, and now I remember what it was.
Okay, I can do it for you.
Okay. I'm looking for any emails from administration, to or from administration, over the past 2 weeks, to or from or pertaining to the United States Postal Service.
Okay.
The USPS.
Okay.
To or from or with any subject matter,
Okay.
USPS or USPS property.
Okay, for the last 2 weeks?
For the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
I actually, hold on a second. What is his title? Tony Tagle?
Corporal?
He's a corporal?
Yes.
Okay, he's in charge of some sort of community relations or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so any kind of administration and also Tagle. Any emails with the USPS?
USPS. Okay.
And
Are we responding back to the same email address that we had for you?
twistedluckmedia@gmail.com? Yes, ma'am. And any, I don't know if they have any contracts for a fencing company to install fencing.
Okay.
Any contract or estimates or quotes that they've received for that?
For fencing?
For fencing at the Deland Police Department,
Okay.
specifically at the Deland Police Department this year, like recently. This gets deeper and crazier every single day as we just try to get what's right. The lengths they are willing to go to avoid that is absolutely insane. If you're new to this story or the channel, or to catch up on what's brought us here, check out previous videos and definitely stay tuned. Obviously, more to come.